Let's get cranked up again this hour and see what kind of trouble we can cause. Congratulations to our winner of the Jawbone Jam tickets. People are calling up here begging for tickets now, AJ. I think you can still get them online. We got no more free ones. Is that the last ones we have?
Well, I think for us, but I think they may have some tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, for our show, no more giveaways. Maybe Richard and Val in the morning. I even AJ, I've had two different staff members come in. Why do people wait till Wednesday?
It's Birmingham, man. People like to wait till the last minute.
Well, I mean, right here in our own staff, one of our lovely staffers that I really appreciate comes in and says, "I need 4 tickets." I was like,
Yeah.
I can't help you.
Well, speaking of that, I need to run to my office and get you your badge.
I'm selling it on the streets, man. I know the street value of that thing. Jawbone Jam Friday night at Iron City. Y'all get down there. It's going to be a big old time. It really is. We're going to have a good time. 10th anniversary of the station, and we just tickled. Southern Skies Dermatology bringing to the show tonight. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. Y'all go get checked for skin cancer. I tell you every night, I don't want you to get numb to it because they've been on with us for years. You know, y'all have heard the pitch over and over, and I try to re-express it so I can put some more emphasis on it. But it's so important not to be catching skin cancer too late. And we're all vulnerable, some of us more than others, me especially. So I'm the age. It's part of the chronological age, but it's also the period where we grew up in the 70s and 80s. We did a lot of sunburning. We didn't know any better. We thought it was fine. And then that damage will just travel with you. If you're anywhere close to my age, it'll travel with you through your life. Next thing you know, you're dealing with something later in life as you lose your ability to fight it off. So don't take that chance. Go get checked. And they'll let you know you may have good skin with no problems, and that's a good sign. The other good sign is they see something of concern. They want to check it and remove it. It could absolutely save your life. They do it all the time. They absolutely spare people from death with a simple skin cancer screening. So get it on your list of screenings. It's Southern Skies Dermatology. This is all they do. Dr. Mario and his team, laser focused on skin cancer. They got all the diagnostic equipment, everything that industry demands, the Mohs procedure for removals. I wouldn't have it removed any other way than Mohs. Look that up. Let them tell you how that works and get your appointment too. Can't wait to tell you about the new location on 280 later this year. Still waiting on all that to come together. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. All right. Headlines. Trump's in China. They love him long time. Man, they made a big show today. They put the parade out there doing all the, I don't know what they were saying. Might have been something awful. But Trump was digging it. And we'll see more images of that by the time we wake up tomorrow as the time shift and the time zone is very different. Not much in the way of the map fights today. Alabama's still sort of out there with this dumb plan to do a 6-1 map in August. I think that could get derailed if the courts try to step in again based on Democrat lawsuits that could force them to go completely back to the drawing board, which, of course, the Supreme Court has given cover to. South Carolina is going to step up now, it looks like. Georgia just called this session. We thought they might be hesitant. There have been fits and starts, but the realignment and the redrawing and the constitutional rectification of these districts is starting up in earnest again from last week to next week. We'll keep an eye on all of that. Let's go to David. Again, this Chud the Builder thing, I got to throw this out there because I don't know who the dude is. I've never even heard of this stuff. This guy is some kind of provocateur that runs around picking fights and harassing particularly black people with his little shtick sort of look. He's got like one of those cowboy mustaches. I can't tell how old he is. What does he look at, Jay? About 30?
Yeah, something like that.
Who is a grown-ass man in their 30s going around doing this stuff to get internet attention?
Well, he's got the attention now.
Yeah, he's going to get some serious attention.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's done, apparently, we're dealing with the surface of the story. So we know his reputation of being a provocateur. He's in Clarksville, Tennessee today, Montgomery County, near the courthouse. And something went down. And he got into some kind of confrontation and fisticuffs with at least one young black man. And the provocateur guy, this Chud the Builder, pulls out his gun and shoots the guy. There's some reports that the guy died. there's blood on him, and he says he also got hit in the arm from his own gun. So here we go with all that. Racial tones from the beginning to the end of this story, and we don't know enough about it to know what actually happened. We've got this Chud the Builder's audio from when the cops were interviewing him on the stretcher right after the whole thing went down. You imagine there's law enforcement all around a courthouse, so they were probably right on the scene. Had to life flight the guy that was shot. You just, I'm not saying he deserved an ass whooping, but in the real world he did. By the law, the guys that attacked him didn't have a right to do that, but him trying to claim self-defense because he was being attacked is going to be very difficult considering these circumstances, and we'll have to let the law sort that out. I normally wouldn't give 2 seconds to talk about a story like this, but you can tell when something's has legs, so to speak. It's going to be all over the internet. Nobody, people that never heard of this fool are now going to hear of this fool, and it's just stupid. It's such a stupid time sometimes with all this internet stuff. I just don't get it. David is on a cell phone. He may have some comments. Some of y'all know who this guy is and are adding a little extra context. David, what's up?
Yeah, Leland, how are you today, sir?
I'm quite well.
Okay, listen, if he was in the courthouse and leaving the courthouse, which we don't really know, he would have had to surrender his weapon or not go in there with a weapon. So if he was leaving the courthouse, he had to go back to his vehicle or wherever his weapon was and retrieve it and then start the confrontation. That, my friend, is nowhere near self-defense.
Yeah, and it was, look, the gun's on him. It looks to me like, and I know we're all playing Matlock here without the benefit of all the facts, but it looks like he's got a microphone on, which means he was rolling or was preparing to when this whole thing went down. And it's going to be very difficult to put yourself in the state of mind of feeling like you're going to lose your life when you provoked an incident of danger yourself, when you provoked the danger, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
One thing I've learned about being an old man, just leave folks alone.
Leave it alone. Thank you, David.
Yeah, that's how I got to be an old man. We'll see you.
That's how we made it this far, kids.
And just like 2 days ago, I know people were talking about him being arrested in Nashville.
Yeah.
He refused to pay almost $400 at a steakhouse.
What do you mean? He went in and tried to dine and dash?
Well, yeah. And then that's why he was arrested, and hence the reason why
Did he do it on camera?
I'm not sure.
Like
if he did
go
on
in there
camera.
and
Probably
eat
so.
and try to walk out and get caught on camera being a butthole?
Probably so. Yeah, it's just
Look, by the law, we'll let the law sort out who's self-defense, who's not. But by the laws of the universe and the man code, this guy had it coming. The problem is he's the one that did the shooting. It's not like he got killed. He's in a heap of trouble.
He was live streaming. Okay, so
he was live streaming.
So in the restaurant told him not to live stream. He ordered a whole bunch of food, 2 full entrees, drinks, and appetizers, totaling $375.55. The restaurant realized he had been live streaming and asked him to stop, and then he caused a big scene and refused to pay.
And that's why he was being charged with something. Why he was at the courthouse.
Right.
Jackass. Poe, what's up, buddy?
Man, Leland, AJ, Leland Nation, what's up, y'all?
Yo, man.
Man, let me tell you something. So the reason why I know about this is my son. Let me shout out my son. He just graduated from UAB on May 1st, man.
Congratulations.
Go Blazers.
Congratulations to my son.
Good for him.
Yeah. He graduated from UAB. So he the one who told me about the situation, about what's going on with it. I didn't know nothing until he told me about this like last week.
Mm-hmm.
He was filling me in on the guy. Was telling me that the guy walking around in Tennessee and Nashville saying the N-word, and if somebody tried to get back at him, he had a gun and he would shoot you and everything. But like you were saying, we ain't condoning violence or getting that tail beat down. But my thing is, in a society of what we living in, when people go and, how do I say, stream stuff, and why do you want to go and do stuff like this? Like, what's the passion with people going out and you saying the N-word? Where is that getting you at? You know what I'm saying? And nowadays in this society, that we live in, you just can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? So the people who got a hold to him and beat him down, well, good. They should have beat him down because he shouldn't have been doing what he's doing. Now he shot this guy and killed this guy, and like y'all was saying, go on and grab them ankles and welcome to the world of Oz. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Dude, but that's the only reason why I know about it, Lena, y'all, because of my son he was filling me in about the situation.
So all the kids probably, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're under 30, I bet all these kids know who this guy is. And he got famous
Right.
doing
Correct.
this stuff, which tells you a whole lot about the internet anyway.
Right. Exactly. So, and I'm gonna go, but it's no positivity on streaming, doing stuff like AJ was saying. Dude didn't want to pay his bill when he went into the restaurant. There's no more positivity when people streaming anymore. Everything got to be negative, man.
Yeah,
y'all know how I feel about negativism when I call into this show, man.
Poe, you know what it is?
It's your boy Poe, man.
Thanks, brother.
What's that?
They ain't got no talent. You used to have talent to
no
get
talent.
famous.
I blame Kim Kardashian.
I do too. What was her talent? Getting naked, getting doing dudes,
Something
Yeah.
else, but-
something like that. That's where it started, AJ.
Yep.
Exactly.
The world saw you can get
But one
famous
more
by
thing-
being trashy, and everybody's trying to do it.
Mhm.
Right. Right. One more thing, like the guy said, the way me, you, and AJ and him got old is because we don't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We did respectable things,
We
respectable
survived.
jobs. We did the positive thing, so now we surviving. We're able to talk about this and tell our kids and grandkids about what's going on or what's been happening. But hey, it's your boy Poe. I love y'all.
Thank you, Poe.
Man, y'all do some positive stuff on this internet. I'm out.
Well,
Look,
man,
there's a lot of tough people in the ground right now. I just want to say that.
no
So-
doubt. And we're from an era where everybody didn't pull a gun out on every confrontation.
No.
If you, we used to say, we had a saying, AJ. You remember this? You're gonna write a check your ass can't cash.
Mhm.
Your mouth is gonna write a check. Your ass can't cash. All that meant was somebody's gonna deal with you, and no, we didn't even call the cops.
Mhm. If you got beat up, you got beat
You
up.
mouth off, you get humbled, and then you learn from it, and that's how you get old.
Yep.
That's how you learn to survive. Better watch my mouth next time. And it's why the internet created what I call keyboard cowards who can sit around and smart off about everything, politics, trash people, and they're hiding behind, at their mama's house or where the Wi-Fi is free, or these fat losers that wouldn't get off the couch. And they go, I mean, it's all of it. Criticizing somebody's ability to throw a football and they couldn't run 5 yards without blowing a lung. I mean,
Mhm.
all this kind of constant criticism. Criticism's okay, but it's when it's hidden behind anonymity and there are no consequences for it, it gets worse.
Yeah, and they like to hide behind the First Amendment. Don't get me wrong, I get it, but that's one of the
Yeah,
first thing
well,
they
yeah.
want to run to is that when they get in situations like this.
Woo! Kelly is in Birmingham. I think this story will be talked about for the next few days. Kelly, what's up?
Oh yeah, I just probably caught the tail end of what you were saying. Were you saying Trayvon Martin was on his back and he was
No, the guy that
he had a
shot him.
gun?
The guy that shot him was on his back, and he pulled his gun out of his pants and shot him. And
Oh,
so
yeah, okay,
it
you're talking
became
about
a
Zimmerman.
self-defense argument. Is what I'm saying is, you can't compare that a provoked event versus an unprovoked event or two. That was just a famous case, right?
Mhm.
So, and we've all litigated that case a long time ago. In this case, this guy's not going to be able to say he just was about to be killed if he walked up there with a microphone and a camera with this little act of his and brought a gun to it. Self-defense claim is going to be completely out the window. I'd be stunned that he could even, he can try. He can plead not guilty if they charge him and try to make that claim, but it's not going to stick. There's no way that sticks.
Okay. I was just making sure because I caught the tail end of what you were saying. I thought you was saying on the other end that
No.
Trayvon had a
What
gun.
was the guy's name? Zimmerman or something?
It was Zimmerman. Yeah, it was Zimmerman.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I wanted to clarify. That's all. 'cause
What
that
the
was-
law said and the way the case came out was what it was. Is while he was on his back, Trayvon was on him. He had his gun in his waistband. He felt like his life was in danger. And the lesson there for all of us is what counts in a lot of cases when you use self-defense is your state of mind when it's going on. So in that case, Zimmerman made that argument was successfully in court. In this case, there's no way your state of mind is going to be in a self-defense state of mind if you provoked the whole incident, right? So it's a different case, at least
but
what
you
we
don't
know
think,
of it.
You don't think Zimmerman provoked it at all?
No,
When
he was in his
told
own
to-
neighborhood armed and
Well-
was checking on burglars.
So you don't remember when they told the police, well, the 911 operator told him to stand down, do
Right,
not follow
but not-
him, don't run after him?
No, yeah, that doesn't cover the legality of the situation. It's one of the facts of the case. I remember the case very well now. that it's
Mhm.
coming up in our minds. Because
Yeah, I kind of do too.
he claimed that the kid, what was the kid's name? Trayvon, came
Trayvon.
out from between two houses and attacked him because he was being followed, and that was the physical provocation. Was he claimed it was Trayvon, and then he's down on the curb getting curb stomped, so he pulled his gun out. It was a terrible story, but the point is, whether we agree with the verdict or not, going to court and trying to make a legal claim that you felt like your life was in danger, you better have some basis to do that. What we know of this case right now, there's no basis for that.
Yeah, I don't know much about the new case you're talking about. I'm gonna have to
Yeah, it's some
look
guy that
into.
goes around screaming the N word at people and trying to
What's
pick
his name?
fights. They call him
What is his
Chud the
name?
Builder. I'd never heard of him.
Chad
And
the
so
Bit.
apparently
Okay.
he was outside a courthouse and got into it with some guys. We don't know if he was doing his little act when this happened, but he's armed and he wound up shooting a guy. We don't know if the guy's alive or not, but it's this big old incident. My point is, you got two
Hmm.
race-based provocative incidents, and that are very different from each other. In one case, the guy's in his own neighborhood. The other case, this guy was out trying to pick a fight. It's a totally different deal.
I don't understand, why white people do these types of things, like,
Why are
and
you stereotyping
don't.
all white people?
I don't know. They just. I guess when I look at the internet, I just see them provoking a lot, and they always get the tables turned on them. Far as somebody wind up
You're
beating
just
them
making stuff. Now
down.
you're making stuff up right now, Kelly.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
The
so you don't look
statistic.
at the internet
No,
when
I don't. I look
white
at
people usually
statistics.
provoke and they end up getting their butts whooped.
No,
Maybe it's just
no,
coming on my timeline. I don't know.
maybe your algorithms throwing you white people getting their
Yeah, it
butts whooped.
probably is because
So,
I see a lot
because you can
of
see a lot of black people
white
getting their
people
butts whooped,
calling
and none of
black
it's
people
good.
the N word and usually getting their butt beat
Yeah,
down
when
like
I
to
grew
the
up in a time
ground.
where that would tote an ass whoop. I'm
That
from
was
the real world.
I
That
mean,
would
but
get
it's
your ass
happening.
whooped.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's happening a lot where I don't know
it's
white
actually
people
those
feel like
incidents.
they just
Statistically,
can say
white
anything.
people, that's wrong of you to say that, Kelly. You're being a
Okay.
bigot. White people in general
Oh,
do
am
not
I?
go around doing this. There's nothing
I
that
see it
backs that
all the
up.
time.
It
I
does
see it
happen,
all the
but
time.
it's not a vast majority of anybody. You're just making stuff up now. Because
Yeah, well, I just think
statistically,
if
black males are astronomically higher at the murder rate and getting in violent incidents than any other racial group on planet Earth.
and I don't see how AJ you sit there and watch him and see him say all this stuff. AJ, I think
AJ
that
can
you
say
are
anything he
really
wants on this show.
pathetic.
AJ's not
I think
here to
you're
defend the black
pathetic.
race nor
The
more
way
than
he talked about
Kelly.
Trayvon
Here's the
Martin, which is
deal:
not true,
you're a
which is not
bigot.
true. I think it's pathetic, AJ, that you would sit here
You leave
and
AJ
let him
alone.
speak
AJ's got his
how
own
he
mind. We've
speaks.
been friends for 16 years, and you can kiss both our asses.
Well, I think he's
My
pathetic.
white
I'm
one and his
sorry.
black one. He can speak for himself, but you're a bigot. Get off my radio show. Well, how did you have to go there? We were just talking about a case.
Man,
You bring up Trayvon, and some people get twitchy.
how'd I get the?
It's your fault. You didn't bring it up. I did. Fuss at me, Kelly. Not AJ didn't say any of this stuff. This is anyway. So here's where we go with that. You heard that stupidity right there. Even though we got a case where most decent people are going to say this Chud the Builder's a butthole, people like that are going to turn this case into something that it's not. You watch in 24 hours. It'll be the stupidest conversation this country's ever seen because you can't have an intelligent conversation nowadays because of people like that, exactly like that. Danny Knowles is with the Knowles Group. Some of y'all are smart enough to have a financial planner take care of your money and maybe make it work for you one day. That's the goal. Work your tail off, and one day your money pays you. Some of you pretty smart, maybe figured out a way to get there. You got an employee fund where you worked, and it paid off in the end, but now you're in control of it, and you'd like a pay raise, not so many pass-through fees, and little different approach. Y'all sit down with Danny. He's a lifelong friend of mine, a good dude, and he knows what he's talking about. He and his sons in the practice have helped so many people in this audience hit their goals because they're not freaking out over the day-to-day swings in the markets. They're looking long-term with approaches that are time-tested. And I don't even know how they do it. I just know they do. And y'all need to get together. See if it's a fit. It needs to fit. Y'all need to be comfortable with each other. It's the KnowlesGroup.com, N-O-L-E-S, the KnowlesGroup.com. Talked so long in that last segment, I barely have time to get calls in here. And that last caller, people like that irritate the hell out of me. I mean, just is she not hear all the white people calling this Chud the Builder an idiot? This is not a white thing.
Well, look, I look. I know I got little ricochet from little comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, she
And,
got off on you because she judged you by the color of your skin.
Well, I mean, look, I've been doing this. I've been in this game for 20 years.
Yep.
Right. This is not the only station I work on, and if you understand how this medium works, you gotta have a thick skin. You know what I'm saying? You can call me pathetic. I could care less, but I know what I do in the community. I know what I do for young African American males with mentorship. I don't talk about it all the time. I show it in my actions. So you can call me whatever you want. I love it. That just means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Kelly.
What a dumbass.
Yeah.
You won't say it because you're a nice guy. She's an idiot.
I mean, you can say it on the phone. Whatever.
Eddie in Wilsonville. What's up, Eddie? Go fast.
You called her by her right name, bigot. I personally get offended every time there's a riot and I see that my people raiding a CVS or a Walgreens or Walmart for a 40-inch TV.
Or winning a hockey
but
game.
What I call about
Yeah, after a
What
hockey
happened?
match, that's when
What?
we show out. And it's the damn Canadians.
Okay.
Are they really white?
Communism.
They're white commies, yeah. We should divide white people into commies and non-commies. Segregation. All right, it's 5:34. Let's keep on trucking. About a half an hour to go. Then we'll call it a Wednesday. Thomas, is over at Stockton Mortgage. What's up, Thomas? How you doing tonight?
Hey, hey, man. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, I sorry I was out yesterday. I had a death in the family, and I
Oh,
had
man.
to go to Memphis, and so man, that was a long trek, and but I apologize for the short notice. But I'm sure you guys said wonderful things about us. But
Every day.
I appreciate that for sure. But man, hey, we did want to tell you about we had a great story that wonderful success story we had. We had a local family that came in and talked with us not too long ago. And you know, it's first, we love first time home buyers. We always do. We have a heart for that, man. And I had met them. Actually, I met them in a grocery store, and they said that they didn't know if they could buy a house. You know, I always strike up conversations with people, and they said, you know, we always wanting to buy a house, but they had been renting for about 10 years. And I'm like, why are y'all renting for that long? They said, well, we didn't think we hadn't saved enough money. You know, all the old things. Didn't know if we had saved enough money or not enough credit. Our credit's not that great. And I said, well, why don't you come by and let's just sit down and have a conversation. So they came by the office, and we sat down, and you know, their credit wasn't that bad. And I showed them some programs they qualified for, and we were able to get them qualified for a home. And we got them in a home last month, and they're new homeowners, and they had been talking themselves out of trying to buy a home out of fear of rejection. And that is the worst thing that anybody can do. You don't know where you are until you at least take a look. So that's what I'm telling people. That is the message today. Give us a call. Let us have that conversation. The worst thing to get is no answer, to not know. Just sit there and not know where you're at. The worst answer is not a no, it's no answer at all. And just to sit there in your head and just wonder. Give us a call. Let us have the conversation just to figure out where you are so that you know where to start. Give us a call, 205-859-8859 or savewithstockton.com.
Savewithstockton.com. We will talk to you tomorrow, my friend Thomas.
Yes, sir. I'm in.
Thomas over at Stockton Mortgage, getting it done, man, making his pitch. All right, let's get our buddy Henry in here. We'll keep on trucking. Henry, what's up tonight?
Oh, just listening to you. Best part of my day.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I got a question. Do you think that these people that get into these situations, when they turn on that camera, they believe they have immunity?
Yeah, I think some of them think if I'm on camera, it'll be worth it to get the clicks. There's money involved, and they're out, you know, just being jerks to their fellow men. And despite the crazy lady that called up, this isn't the whole white race doing this. This isn't the whole black race every time somebody gets killed. But it's people that do these things, and we got to call it out when we see it. This is what everyone who's called this show tonight has pretty much agreed to. This doesn't look like a self-defense case, and this guy ought to swing. He ought to go to jail for a long time. If not, man, if he killed the guy, I hope he's eligible for the death penalty. I'll go watch.
Exactly. And, you know, when I hear the word provocation,
Yeah.
my mind immediately goes, and I remember earnestly poor old Reginald Denny. And I remember Reginald in the street. I don't understand the beating, why he took that beating, regardless of events that happened prior to that.
Yeah.
And because nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves any violence, period. It just upsets me when I remember Reginald. And I actually see it. I can close my eyes and I can remember every bit of it. And when you say that all white people do, that's why Reginald Denny was laying in a pool of blood, having his head bashed in by a
what I
cinder
don't want to
block.
do, Henry, and I don't want to play into that, is turn this whole show into debating race
defense,
violence when that's
offense,
not what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a country that's largely going to side with the guy that got shot.
Exactly.
What happened apparently so far that we know about in Clarksville, Tennessee, was 100% wrong. And for the country to get drug into a dumb argument, which we always do, from dumb people who see the world that way, is just, I guess we can't help it. That's just as dumb as what this guy goes out and does. They're looking for a reason to provoke other races all the time, 24/7. It's like a world we live in. It's this neurotic world. I didn't grow up in that world. And I
Yeah.
I despise it. And I'm not going to allow it on this damn radio show.
Yeah. And thanks for cutting me short there because I deserved it. I didn't want to get into
Well,
that area
I don't want to
either,
drift down that
because I
road.
don't-
It's a stupid place to go. And it's this knee jerk thing that people do when they want to keep score. Every time something happens in the news, we do it with Democrats versus Republicans, and we do it black on white. And it's just, let's judge each case for what it's about. The only reason I brought up Trayvon Martin is that case was tried. That was the defense that was asserted. The accused was acquitted because of that defense. And there's a whole different matter. That was a controversial case in the country from all perspectives. But it's a whole different matter now. This isn't one of those cases. That's the whole point.
And how this case develops, and we'll start with the judge. And I don't like the way the judicial system is headed,
Yep.
and the threats by the House leader on the Democrat side. I forgot his name. Probably better for me. But his threats to that everything's on the table for the court system. Every time I turn around, they want to tear this country down, and that does not help the individual living on the street or going out on the street and having to face where other people have been provoked to insanity by the words of these political leaders, and it gets on their nerves. And then what do? They want to hash or reach out and do harm to another human being because they don't have any other way to deal with it. Oh yeah,
Yep.
Voting is supposed to do the help we need, but I think they want to act on it without the vote. They want to act on it for what they've heard, and I think it makes people stew and really get, it has a very big influence on the way people act on the street. And especially when somebody goes out there and actually, forces a situation that should not have ever happened. And that's why I think he's going to have to pay a big price.
The root of it's going to be with this internet streamer guy. But thanks, Henry. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and again, we're all judging this case a little early because we got to wait and see what the authorities say. Here's my guess, though. Somebody like this that gets by on being provocative and taking the risk of getting your ass whooped or getting shot yourself or whatever, or going to prison, is going to drag this out. This is a bonanza for them. They'll be, you watch, AJ, somebody will set up a GoFundMe and try to defend the guy. And the reason I bring that up is it depends on how they're going to charge him. He ain't going to plead not guilty or guilty. In a normal case, you're like, yeah, I shot him, and try to cut a plea deal. This guy's going to milk it, which is in itself provocative, and make every stupid claim in the world about why he brought a gun and provoked people like that. And he's 100% wrong. Unless there's new evidence to come out, we all got to be cautious with something like this that we don't know about right now in terms of how it went down this afternoon. But there it is. One of those dumb things that happens in the news, and here we are dealing with it again. Distinctive pools. Let's talk about building a swimming pool at your house. First time I met Gary Levesque, he talked to me about this, and he said the average pool purchaser will sit around on this decision for 3 to 5 years. I guess I get it because it can be expensive, and it's a big deal, and it's disruptive, and it changes your whole house. But in that interim, think of all the memories you're missing, all the time you're missing with people that you would love to entertain. I'm not trying to push you into a bad decision. I'm saying do your homework and reach out to Gary Levesque and his team and let them draw something in your yard that makes sense, that fits your space, that's going to look good, it's going to perform well, it's going to be a point of pride for the rest of your home, help the market value of it. It's so important. I say this all the time. This is from my real estate background. Do not stick a pool on your house if you build it in a cheap way. It'll cheapen the house. It's just true of anything. It'd be like just spray painting your car, right? You got a nice car, just go put a can of spray paint on it. Don't do that. Protect the value of your home by creating a proper design that integrates, looks like it's always been there, that you'll be proud to show off, that you'll enjoy all year long, especially the way they do it. At Distinctive Pools, they have an incredible system of both doing hardscapes and pools together. It's one big project. So, yeah, you can sit out there in the wintertime when it's too cold to swim and watch your TV by your fireplace with a blanket and the crew with some s'mores over the fire pit or any of these things that you could integrate. It's distinctivepools.com. 40 years, man, I guess it's 42 or 3 by now with Gary Levesque himself. And he's got this huge crew around him, all of which are capable of coming out and handling your project. So I'm guessing, but it's well more than a century of expertise at Distinctive. Distinctivepools.com. Look at their examples online. When you go to their website, you'll see what I mean. Distinctivepools.com. Here's Chase on a cell phone. What's up, Chase?
Oh, not much, Leland. I'll try to be as fast as I possibly can. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go, Chase.
All right. So, number one, I don't even know what in the world's going on. I just kind of caught the tail end of everything. I'm guessing some internet guy got his butt whipped because he said some provocative stuff to the African culture.
Sort of, but then he pulled a gun out and shot the guy he was in a fight with. And what we don't know is was this one of those times where he did that to pick the fight, or was he just walking around a courthouse and they knew who he was and went after him? But he was armed, and I don't know how the law is going to read it, but he created this environment that he found himself in today. Now he shot somebody.
Yeah. Well, and the second thing is, you had a young lady who called earlier who, as you called her out, she started being bigoted towards white people and everything. And I'm like, and I'm sorry, but I hate to say it, but there's people like that on both sides, both black and white.
100%, yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, it's not, as Martin Luther King said, judge a man not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. And I mean, for her to act like that, my people don't ever do that. It's always you crazy people. No, it is on both sides of the fence. She was clearly trying to pull the race card as usual.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, I understand when she went there, I had to kind of get that. We can't have that on the radio show. That's just wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But the bottom line on all that is the people calling the show, primarily before her, white folks, didn't have any sympathy for this provocateur. We don't like this stuff. Most people don't.
No.
What I've learned is that no matter what the race or color, there's good and bad people, and these are all bad people. This is just bad people being bad.
Yeah.
And that's why we punish bad in our society and not good people. Don't care who you are or where you come from.
You're absolutely right, Leila. Well, God bless you and AJ both. Y'all are amazing men, and wish I could come to Job on Jam, but I've got to go help my father-in-law. And hey, Leland, if y'all don't mind, I just want to say this. I want y'all to say a prayer for me because I had to kind of try to convince myself, hype myself up, but I decided to go join law enforcement, and I'm going to. I'm not going to say which law enforcement agency, but I have to test on June 12th, and so I'm having to get my butt back in shape. So I'm just say a prayer for me.
Well, that's going to be a good day because that's my birthday.
Okay, see, you got good luck. You got AJ good luck already. What made you decide to do that, Chase? What made you try to pursue that?
Well, I mean, one, the job that I currently have right now is it's barely getting me and my family by, and I've got another edition that's going to be here May 29th, and I want to do something better, and I also have always wanted to serve my community, and I believe in law and order, and I'm prior military, so I really think I've really had a pulling on my heart to want to, honestly, I know it's going to sound cliche, but I've always wanted to protect and serve, and what better way than to join, some of the local law law enforcement.
Well, we like cliche on this show, and congratulations. It's a fine decision. I'm glad people like you are out there in the community protecting us. It's a extremely tough job, but best to you, and call us back sometime and let us know how you did on the test and how you're doing.
Well, I wanna just add this. I'm also 39 years old, so I mean I'm kind of late to the game.
You're just a kid. Don't even act like that. You just a baby. You can handle it. Get out there and run, son.
You got it, boss. Y'all take care. God bless y'all.
I say that to Chase because I sat on the couch for an extra 30 minutes a day, and I was so stiff I almost couldn't stand up. So you youngins, you 39-year-olds, y'all can still handle it. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's get the break in here. We'll come back, line up a couple more phone calls, and we'll wrap this thing up today. Stay tuned. It is 3:55, Leland Live, talking to M5. Lonnie's Furniture Company ready to sell you some furniture. No matter what you need inside the home, outside the home, any room in the home. I tell you all the time, their mattress section is bigger than a lot of whole mattress stores. They've got an acre of selection under that big old roof, and it's all beautifully staged. It's easy to breeze through there and comparison shop. That's a big deal. I know when before I discovered Lonnie is back I used to hate going furniture shopping. And because you go to one store and you got to get in the car and go through traffic and go to another store and you forgot what you looked at the other store. And then the prices and you got to keep a chart. And it's just, and then some of these stores are just bougie and overpriced on purpose just to feel exclusive. And the others smell like plastic from China when you walk in because they're too cheap. You don't get any of that at Lonnie's. It's beautiful stuff, well-built stuff, brands you're going to know, prices you're going to love and respect, even when they're not having a sale. And then a whole lot of it, an acre of furniture under one roof with the best, most friendly, helpful people in the business, the good staff over at Lanius Furniture Company, Launius, LaniusFurnitureCompany.com, LaniusFurnitureCompany.com. Okay, one other story that we haven't gotten to yet. We got squirreled with that dumb internet streamer story, but Kevin Warsh has been approved by the Senate. First, he had to be put on the Fed board by the Senate confirmation. Now he's been approved to be chairman by the Senate confirmation. I don't know how long it takes for the handover to happen between him and Jerome Powell. What little I know of this guy, he's got the right principled attitude toward the Fed's role. In fact, he's in the past been a proponent of the Fed making a lot of reforms just internally. So he couldn't get there any sooner. We are artificially being held hostage by a very politicized Jerome Powell, and we'll see what kind of difference he makes. With the gas price increases, I can't imagine there's going to be a sudden interest rate drop, but those things kind of wind up playing together. Trump, of course, in China, and we'll be seeing a lot of coverage of that over the next few days. There's this talk of $1 trillion trade deal on the table that China would actually start building factories here. I'd be stunned. I think they'll make a lot of promises to Trump they don't plan to fulfill. And the thing about Trump's tenure is every day that goes by is one day closer to him being done, being technically a lame duck president that can't run again. And people start running the clock on this stuff, even international trade deals and people that want to agree to things they know they can run the clock on and not have to agree to. But should be a big news week with all that stuff. And don't forget your Jawbone Jam tickets. I'm getting flooded with people wanting to know details. I'm like, we've been talking about it for 2 straight months. It's Friday night. Doors at 6. We'll be doing the show there live from 2 to 6. So you'll be able to hear us on your way in. Tickets are, I think, $40 online at Ticketmaster or IronCity.com. And yes, we still have some available. What I was talking about earlier were some giveaway tickets. I think people might have heard that the tickets were sold out. No, you can still go. And let's go. It'll be a good time. You're not going to find 3 bands of this caliber sharing a stage like that. It was a special that they all agreed to do that and to split the tickets and split the door and just do this 10th anniversary event for us. The legendary Brother Kane reunited, new album out, their touring band, Stone Horses, and all my brothers in Cattle, another Birmingham-based band with its own huge following. Let's all go. We'll see you Friday night. In the meantime, stay tuned for Breaking Bread, where they will not be talking about any kind of race war, just bread and food.
But I will still be pathetic.
He's going to make a pathetic sandwich.
Goodbye, AJ.